Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day. Hello. Hello, how are you? It's good to be back after a break. Even with all that extra time, it seems like I don't have enough time. Always there's something to do, something going on. And the chat is working, by the way, old dog. Just to answer your question, I just need to get some kind of update to that to get it to work. There it is. Okay. Where is the... I have to update the link. Should work. Should be working. There it goes. Boom, baby. It took a couple of seconds longer than I thought. But now it's up. Now it's up and good to go. So the chat is on the live screen now. So everything should be looking good. I didn't have time to create a proper, I guess you could say, pitcher's avatar for the Orioles, simply because I had too many other things to do. So I just screenshotted and cropped the bird in the cage because I think it's hilarious. I think I'm going to use the bird in the cage for my permanent Orioles avatar. I'll fix it later to have a better version of it, but I think it's fine for now. I think it looks okay. I like it. It's hilarious. I love the Oriole, the mutant Oriole in the bird cage. If you look at that whole picture on the thumbnail, you'll see that they're inside of a spaceship, so it looks like an astronaut, an Astros astronaut went to another planet, like a planet of mutant half man, half Orioles, and caged one caught it and put it in a cage and put it in his ship to bring it back to Earth. I described that whole scene just to get the AI to create it, so that's all from my imagination, and then the AI creates the image to try to match it. Excellent. Good day to everyone who's here, all of my subscribers, and especially my members and my supporters, my direct supporters. Let me go over this right quick. Let's see here. Shake, good to see you. John, Old Dog, of course. Joshua, and let's see here. Fox at Bat, Elvis, and any other guys and gals who are out there listening in and not yet chatting, or maybe not able to chat. Once again, if you're driving or operating heavy machinery, it is not my fault if you try to do that while chatting in the live chat. I will not take any blame for that. I do not recommend that you use the chat unless you refrain from what you're doing first. And I don't mean let go of the wheel. I mean, pull over to a safe place and stop and get into a safe location, put it in park, and then you can chat. Let's take a quick look at the Astros lineup. The Astros are going to be in the field today, so we'll take a look at that. Altuve's leading off today, and he's in the DH position again. They're having a little chit-chat with Dubon right now. Second batter is Correa, who's at third base. Jesus Sanchez in left field batting third. Christian Walker batting cleanup at first base. And unfortunately, Yainer Diaz is batting right behind him at fifth, catching today. I was hoping they would break them up again like they did a couple of days ago, but oh well. Ramon Urias is actually batting sixth. They moved him up a little bit. He's at second base. Taylor Trammell in center field batting seventh. Mauricio Dubon at shortstop batting eighth. And batting ninth is Cam Smith. Interesting lineup they have today. Altuve, Correa, Sanchez, Walker, Diaz, Urias, Trammell, Dubon, Smith. Yeah, 7 ERA pitcher. You know that means we score. Yeah, in the first inning, Jay. In the first inning, the Astros will score a run, maybe even a solo homer, and after that, we will go 6 innings scoreless. Come on now. Believe it or not, ESPN actually gave us like a 73% chance to win this game. But knowing ESPN, by the time the game actually starts, that probably will have dropped to 63%. Sometimes their numbers go up and down and change arbitrarily for no particular reason that I can see. But 'tis the way it is. 'Tis the way it is. By the way, I have been picking up a few things here and there. The channel is coming up on 1,000 subscribers, and what I've decided to do, instead of just giving out one main prize, I decided to give out a few kind of, I don't want to say consolation prizes, but like runner-up prizes, I guess you could say. And the runner-up prizes are simply postcards. Postcards are very, very cheap for me to mail from Japan, and I thought that would be a nice treat. So I picked up a few. I picked up 3 actually, 3 postcards, and whoever gets runner-up, what I will do is post that in the chat, and my email is available in the description of the video and on my About Me page, my main video page, my main channel page. All you have to do is send me the address where you want me to send your postcard. For the person that wins the, I guess you could say the main prize, it'll be a small box of items. I have ordered a local baseball team, professional baseball team shirt, the Hiroshima Carp. I might be picking up a hat. There is a hat that I found here locally. It's possible that I might pick that up. We'll see. There will be some snacks, some Japanese snacks in the box. I was thinking about putting in like some of the Kit Kats, but the problem with that is that they could be completely melted by the time they get there. It's really hot and humid right now, and I don't think they will last. So I'm probably going to put some snacks in that are just like non-melty, non-chocolate type snacks. I've already got a few of those picked up. And my favorite coffee, which is a coffee company here in Tokyo, or here in Japan, but it's primarily in Tokyo, and they don't actually have one here in Hiroshima, but they do have a way for you to buy the coffee and use it at home. It's called Sarutehiko. And Sarutehiko coffee, when I was in Tokyo, it happened to be my favorite coffee. So I will include that in the box for the person who wins first place. Plus, I have an Altuve, a Jose Altuve baseball card, because I got to put something in there that is Astros. Even though I'm in Japan, I had to get something that was Astros. And of course, my favorite player is Jose Altuve. So I was able to find a Jose Altuve baseball card, and I'll put that in there. Plus, one little thing from my house, because I have a very old house here, and I have some very old items, some old Japanese decorations, and so I will put a little something inside from my house here in Hiroshima. So you get a mix of things. Whoever wins the drawing will get some nice stuff. Fromber is on the mound, rubbing the rosin bag on his hand a little bit. It looks like he's about to take a few more warm-up pitches before the game starts. But anyway, that's it for the update on the 1,000 subscriber contest. Now that's out of the way, as soon as this first half of the inning is over, I have to go over there and put on my compression socks. I forgot to do that, and my legs are already starting to swell. Can't have that. Actually, I might grab one right quick. Fromber's still warming up. Let me grab my socks. I'm going to bring them back over here. 1 second. All right. I got my awesome long compression socks. I'll tell you what, edema and anemia are an absolutely terrible combination. Adley Rutschman. No, he's not batting first. Who's batting first? Oh, that's Holiday. Jackson Holiday is batting first for the Orioles, followed by Jordan Westburg, Gunnar Henderson. I'm really glad that Jackson Holiday had that big hit the other day that took the game away from the Mariners. And hope that the Orioles got all of their winning out of their system with the last two. How do you like that? The last two games they won against the Submariners. But the winning is over for them right now. Those nasty, dirty birds are going to be caged today, tomorrow, the next day, and then that 4-game series in Baltimore. Let's have a 7-game sweep. How about that? Fox at Bat said it best. Today, Astros win. Let's go, Stros. Thank you, Elvis. I'll be just fine. You too. You'll be just fine. Looks good, old dog. Thank you. Yeah, every year it's the same thing. It doesn't matter how good the Astros are. They only admit it if the Astros go through the whole year and destroy everybody. Then they kind of begrudgingly admit it. First pitch from Fromber's 94-mile-per-hour stinker right in there, strike one. Holiday batting .248 through 113 games this season. Heart and Hustle Award in Baltimore. Ooh, here comes the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside, another stinker. The count is 1-1. Man, I got to put my socks on faster when I get up. Man, these things swell up way too fast. Way too fast. Dunk the Oreos. That's right. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the left side. Backhanded by Dubon, who fires over. Nice start there. A backhanded grab by Dubon at short. And he fires it over to second base to get that first out. Good catch. Good throw. I like that. One away. 3 pitches. 2 strikes for Fromber. Good ratio. Here comes the first pitch to Jordan Westburg. A little high and outside. 94-mile-per-hour sinker. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Nobody on. Westburg. Here's the toss. Ooh, that changeup just barely missed the outside edge. Fromber probably expecting to get that call. 2-0 is the count. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. This is hit hard into right field. Is it going to get down? Yes, it is. Cam Smith can't get there in time. 95-mile-per-hour sinker right below the zone. Not a very bad placed pitch, but maybe not quite enough movement on it, or was it just a good hit? Let's take a look. Yeah, it did. I mean, the location was good, but it didn't have a tremendous amount of drop on it. Not enough movement. Gunnar comes to the plate with 1 out, 1 on. 95 on the outside edge. That's a good one. Strike 1. Why is Pena not playing? Juan, I invited Pena to come over to my house, and he's on a plane right now headed over because he said there's nothing more important than visiting with me, even Astros games. So that's right in there. The curveball, dead center, 0-2. But Jay's right. He's got a wee bit of an illness. Not a big deal, but he needs a little time to rest. This is grounded to first. Walker steps on first base. Westburg was already attempting to steal second base, so there was no opportunity to get the out at second. Two away with Westberg on second base. Adley Rutschman comes to the plate. He'll be the next victim. Here comes the first pitch. A little outside with the curveball. 1-0. Well, if Pena's vitamin D levels are high and he's obviously in good physical condition, then he'll recover quickly. It won't be a big deal. He could always do like Michael Jordan, right? Play anyway. 78 below the zone, but strike one. 1-1 is the count. Yeah, that was almost 2 inches below the zone, but the umpire liked it. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ooh, low and inside. Caught a little bit of the dirt. Yep, Foxabat, you're right. Spot on. Just a little bit of quality from Fromber and a little bit of quality from the bats. 2 balls, 1 strike to Rutschman. A runner on second with 2 outs. This is grounded to the left side. Diving stop by Correa at third. What a throw! What a play by Carlos Correa. Man, look at that. He completely lays out, rattles around in his glove. He gets up and he fires to first base. Gets him by a mile. Holy freaking cow. South Korea, baby. South Korea all day long. Let me type this in. This looks hilarious. I love it. Oh my gosh. You see some of those like here in Hiroshima, for example, all of these girls that go to the games, they like to put these really cutesy, stickers. They look like the eye cream that the players put under their eyes, but they're like cutesy type maybe temporary tattoos that have cute things on there that are related to the team, maybe the team logos or something. And that just came to me when I saw Correa's image. He's always wearing a lot of this face cream on his nose and under his eyes, and it reminded me of all of these girls here who go to the games wearing these flags and team stuff under their eyes. And so I decided to put those things together. Kim Jong would be proud. He'd be probably upset, Jay. If it were North Korea, he would be fine with that. Yeah, Fred, what a catch and what an arm, right? Those are the 2 big guys right there. Well, one of them's big. The other one's big in ability and in prowess and in fame, but not so much in stature. Look at the difference between them. Altuve is back into the leadoff position. Let's see if we can get an early snap from Altuve. First pitch from Brandon Young on the way. Altuve goes after it, hits it deep into center field, but it's high. It's not long. Right center field and caught. It was deep in the air, but not deep towards the wall. Different kind of deep. It was backwards deep. 1 away. Altuve flies out on the first pitch. I was expecting him to go into the Crawford boxes on that first pitch, but he got too far underneath it. Now let's see if Correa can come up with a really nice offensive play to go with that defensive play. First pitch is on the outside edge, 93 miles an hour for strike 1. 93-mile-per-hour fastball on that outside edge. I wonder if that's Mr. Young's fastball range. A little below the zone. Ball 1-1. Death Before Dishonor, welcome from San Antonio. Angel, welcome in. Good to see you too. Below the zone again on the cutter. 2 balls and 1 strike to Correa. Men of culture, indeed we are. By the way, Angel, is your name Angel or Angel? Is that a different pronunciation? You can correct me so that I get it right. I don't want to be rude. Brendan says the Blue Jays are losing right now. That's good. Way outside and low. He's not pitching to South Korea. 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the first. Here's a pitch. Ooh, 94. And he swung after that one right on the inside edge. Strike 2. Wow, 57 hits in 44 innings. A lot of people are hitting this guy. Correa bounces this one to third. Good scoop by Westberg. He fires over to first. Correa is out. So Altuve flies out on the first pitch. Correa gets to a full count. Pushes Mr. Young up to about 7 pitches. And then grounds out. 8th pitch is going to be coming in to Mr. Sanchez. Hey, all right. Outside to Sanchez. 1-0 is the count. Mets over the Submariners. Got some updates in the live chat for those of you who are just listening. The Mets just took a 6-4 lead over the Submariners. Here's the pitch. Little check swing fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. 1 hit for the Orioles. None yet for the Astros. Maybe Sanchez will do it here. I want to see him rip one. He looks like he could rip one every single at bat. He's got so much energy. That's high. Ball 2. 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. 76-mile-per-hour curveball. Brought on the outside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. He founds that one down the first base sideline. First base line. The first base out of bounds line. Two balls and 2 strikes to Sanchez. Here comes the toss from Young. This one's almost on the ground. Picked up by the first baseman who handles it himself, and that is out number 3. So a fly out and 2 ground outs. The Astros are 3 up and 3 down. Don't give him any real trouble. He gets through it. And about 10 or 11 pitches. No big deal. Hilarious looking commercial here. Crazy. We go to the top of the second. Fromber back on the mound with 13 pitches under his belt so far. He's going to be facing Ryan Mountcastle, Kobe Mayo, and then Jeremiah Jackson. How many people do we have right now? I have to reload my screen to see it. I don't have those numbers on here, but let's take a look. 103. Pretty nice. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for coming in. If you have not liked the live stream, please do so already. We're not at quite 50%. I like to see a 70% like ratio on the amount of viewers that we have at any one time. And since we have 100, you can do the math there. We need roughly 30 more likes, right? Thank you so much in advance. If you are an Astros fan, welcome in. Please subscribe to show your support for this community. They're showing some highlights of Dubon. They said since 2024, since last year, he's had 26 outs above average. Pretty amazing, especially considering he's all over the place. First pitch to Mountcastle is a little low, below the zone on the changeup. 1 ball, no strikes. I really need some more coffee. Can I get it set up? Here's the pitch from Fromber. Another 89-mile-per-hour changeup, low and outside, but a swing and a miss. Better result that time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a toss. There we go, right in the zone and hit high in the air. Walker is over and he's got it. Look at that. Perfect. He made that look so easy. He walked over there and he was just like, easy. Got it. 1 out. 3 pitches to Mountcastle. Look how Walker just gets over there, gets set up, and catches it like he's almost surprised. Yeah, look at this. It's like super easy cheesy. Easy cheesy, Japanesey. Here's the next pitch. 94 miles an hour to Kobe Mayo. Strike 1. You gonna take that? Then we'll take it. We'll take it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ooh, nice. The changeup. Changeup's looking good for Fromber today. He's getting some swings and misses on it. Kobe Mayo's down 0-2. He takes a timeout to rethink his life and consider whether or not he wants to continue smoking death sticks. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Low and inside. The curveball missing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, Casey, he's just got to watch, I think, a little bit of that one pitch that he had earlier. 93 miles an hour. Low and inside again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He had one that didn't have quite as much movement on it, but I haven't seen anything else like that since then, so that's good. Maybe he was just slightly gripping it wrong. Nice! Look at that. Now that is what I call a breaking pitch. That's a curveball for a swing and a miss and a strike 3. Look at that. Look at that thing drop. That thing dropped like an amusement park ride. Dropped like a bungee drop. Throw him some mustard. Hey, you want some mustard with that, Mr. Mayo? 94 up and out to Jeremiah Jackson. 2 outs, nobody on. Fromber up to 22 pitches. 1 ball, no strikes. Mayo can't handle the mustard. Here comes the 1-0 toss. And looks like another hit. Line drive to center field. Trammell grabs it and throws it in. So that's a 2-out base runner. The second hit of the game. A nice solid smack right up the middle. They're not showing a replay of that. Looked like it might have been another one of those breaking balls with not too much break on it. Maybe a sinker. They didn't sink. Runner on first with 2 outs. Dylan Carlson at the plate. Right in there on the changeup. No, they say that was a sinker. Are you sure? That kind of moved to the outside. I think that was a, I don't know, 94 miles an hour. You don't see a changeup that fast very often. Either way, it's a strike. 0-1. Here's the next toss. Ooh, right in there. He held up. Froze him. 96 miles an hour. Another sinker. 0-2 is the count. Angel, I like how you type angel in Spanish, angel in English. Okay, if you're fine with me reading it as angel, then I'll just keep saying it that way. But Angel says, Orioles won 2 games against the Mariners, and for that we thank them. Now, sadly, they have to lose 3 in a row. Yes, and then 4 more later, right? That's a little outside and low in the dirt. A new ball comes into Fromber. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dylan Carlson. Well, the good news is the Astros didn't score early, so that means they're going to score a lot of runs, right? Here comes the 1-2. This is poked right up the middle. That's going to put the runner on third base. Right center field single. He just golfed it like he had a pitching wedge. 2 runners on, 2 outs on the corners. Yep. Yep, that's another one of those breaking pitches that didn't break too much. Maybe that was the sinker. Sinker that didn't sink too much. Didn't sink enough. Daniel Johnson is at the plate. A lefty on lefty action right now. 95 miles an hour on the sinker. Above the zone. 1-0 is the count. Come on now, Mr. Valdez. Don't toy around. Here's the 29th pitch. This is grounded straight to Urias, who throws over to Walker, and that will do it. But 2 more hits for the Orioles. Fromber has to sweat a little bit. Winds up tossing 29 pitches. 17 of those are strikes or were strikes. Now he's basically averaging 14.5 pitches per inning. Not terrible, but not good either. 3 hits given up. That's not good. That's not good at all. 3 hits in 2 innings. Hopefully he's got everything worked out. I do think it's important for Fromber to recognize that I think it's his sinker, is not sinking quite so much as consistently as it should be. He needs to be careful with that pitch. I will say that his curveball is looking amazing, and his changeup is too. Those pitches are looking really nice, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I've got a very, very full cup of coffee right now. It is too full, actually. Tastes like garbage. It's not very hot. And it's the same coffee grounds that I used on my first cup. So, it's okay. No big deal. I'll get a fresh cup a few innings later. Boil some more fresh mountain water. All right. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Brandon Young back on the mound. Is this the inning we light him up? I certainly think so. Low and outside, ball 1. The cutter missing low and away. I think maybe this needs to be moved a little bit so it doesn't blow on my mic. Here's the next pitch. That was clearly a couple of inches outside, but called a strike. You can see it right there on the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Christian Walker, who's getting a full-blown beard right now. Here's the 1-1 pitch, rather. I'm still thinking ball 2. I was like, here's the 2-0 pitch. But now it is 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. 93 in the top of the zone, and Walker goes after it and hits it right up into the air, way up there. Caught it shortstop for out number 1. Surprised that didn't hit the roof. Tastes like muddy water, smells like turpentine. Ugh. Ugh. Yainer Diaz at the plate. First pitch on the way. 84 above the zone. He goes after it. Fouls it off. 0-1 is the count. Nobody on. Yeah, but everything's turning around. Everything's turning around. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled off again. 93 above the zone. Yainer going after the high pitches. 0-2. Twentieth pitch coming up for Young in just a moment. And it's on the way. He tries the cutter outside, but way too far out there for even Yainer to think about swinging at. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. Here's the pitch. Now that is a swing on the curveball outside. He does chase that one. Strike 3. Ramon Urias comes to the mound to face his old team for the first time. Here comes the pitch. A little low below the zone. 1-0. 95 mile per hour fastball. Looks like Brandon Young cranking it up just a little bit for his old teammate. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. This is hit hard to left center field. Very deep all the way back and just shy of the warning track. It kind of died. It kind of sort of died. No hits for the Astros through 2. 6 up and 6 down. Not a single guy on base. No walks, no hits. 1 strikeout. Just ground outs, foul outs, and Yainer with 1 strikeout. How do you strike out against this pitcher? He literally didn't throw any pitches in the zone. I never saw a pitch in the zone. Everything that Yainer swung at and fouled off or missed was either above the zone or outside the zone. He never swung at anything that was in the zone, and there was never a pitch in the zone. He could have just stood there, and he would have had a walk. But what can you do? Framber Valdez will be back on the mound in a moment to start off the top of the third. 29 pitches and 18 strikes. He's given up 3 hits but no runs. Jackson Holliday will be at the plate. The Orioles are already back to the top of their lineup here in the top of the third. Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken. It's interesting because right now there's a live streamer that I know just a little bit. I think he's in Thailand. He's called Orioles Birdwatcher. He's doing the Orioles Astros game live stream at the same time I am. So that's kind of funny. 82 at the bottom of the zone. The first pitch to Holiday is a strike. That's a nice looking slider. I'm interested to see what he's saying over there. 94 miles an hour in the top of the zone. Strike two. What we need right here is a changeup or a curveball, something with a lot of movement on it. The 0-2 pitch on the way. That was a slider, but it was too low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss. The 1-2. Grounded to the first base side. Grabbed by Orioles, who throws it to first base to get the out. Holiday is packaged away neatly. He will go back to the dugout. Jordan Westberg is back at the plate. Paul says international baseball streamer is quite something. Yeah, you know, a few years ago, the thought didn't even cross my mind to do this. It just kind of came to me one day. First pitch to Westberg is a little outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. 35 pitches now for Valdez. Come on, from Burglar. Here comes a pitch. Right in the zone. He hits it hard into left center field, but it looks like it's going to be playable by Trammell, and it is at the warning track. Pretty deep, but not deep enough. Out number 2. He got Frambergled. Gunnar Henderson comes to the plate. .94 miles an hour right in there, fouled off. Opposite field. 0-1 is the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Fromber trying to get a 1-2-3 inning right here. It'll be his first one. 38th pitch on the way. Ooh, top of the zone. Close. No swing, but that was close. Called a ball. 1-1 is the count. I appreciate you liking the live stream if you have not done so already. Swing and a miss. 83 below the bottom of the zone. Nice drop on that pitch. That was a good looking slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Henderson. Next pitch is Fromber's 40th of the game. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fromber gets a strikeout. You, sir, got Frambergled. 3 up and 3 down for Fromber Valdez in the third. So 3 was the magic number. No hits, no walks. Just some fly out action, ground out action, strikeout action. Bottom of the third coming up. Still waiting for the Astros to do something with the bats. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to go over to the Orioles, the Oriole Bird Watcher channel, and see what he's got going on. You see this? This is his channel here. Orioles Bird Watcher. He's live right now. I like his video. You see that? I support. I see. I'm actually subscribed. He's one of the guys that actually inspired me He's one of the first guys that inspired me to go ahead and try my live stream channel, so I owe him some gratitude. And I've told him that before. Casey Jones, you're in the chat too. Uh, there we go. Best of luck. I told him, best of luck, but still lose. All right. Taylor Trammell, the tram. The tram is at the plate, guys and gals. Here comes the first pitch. 93 miles an hour, fouled off towards the Crawford boxes, but foul. Yeah, I saw that, Casey. I saw you give me the shout out. I thought that was funny. I'm still actually in the chat over there, but I paused the live stream. 93 up and out, called a ball that was barely on that corner. It was almost there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. This is hit straight to the second baseman, Holiday, who fires it over to first base. Tram grounds out. Astros continue to ground out, fly out, ground out, fly out, ground out, fly out. Shrewdly's back from New Mexico. Good to see you too. Go Stros indeed. Low and outside. Mauricio Dubon at the plate. The Astros so far are 7 up and 7 down. They haven't gotten a single guy on base yet. Will Dubon be the first? Here's the 1-0 pitch. He hits this one out into right field. Is it going to be foul? Yes, it is. Into the crowd it goes. 1-1. Well, yeah, he does have a no-hitter going, but, you know, two and a third innings. I mean, it's not really much to write home about right now. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. 94 miles an hour. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss, up and in, 94 miles an hour. Okay. All right. That's apparently strike 3. The pitch that was a ball outside, which I called a ball, which was a ball, was apparently called a strike by the umpire. That was rather egregious. Dubon strikes out. That's the second batter to strike out. Diaz being the first. That brings up Cam Smith, batter number 9. Come on, Cam. That's a strike in there, 93 miles an hour, right in the middle of the zone. Cam, your last chance to get through this entire first batting order without a single guy on base. Come on, we can't let that happen. You got to get on base. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. I hear you, Brendan. Here's the pitch. A little outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Fox at bat says so far no sign of quality bats. Well, there was one. There was 1 full count at bat. It just didn't end well. Outside again. 3-1. Absolutely, Charles. Let's get the hits going. Sweep up these dirty birds. Here comes the 3-1. Ooh, that was ripped down the first base line, but foul. Nice line drive. Braden, I see that you're trying to use the Correa art. I appreciate that, but that you have to be a member to be able to use it. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A foul tip, and he catches that and tags him out. Cam Smith completes the set. Brandon Young gets the trilogy. 9 batters faced, 9 outs. Not a single Astro has touched the base and been safe. Not a single one. Nary a one, you might even say. So, I think it's, as some of you have said before, we're making this pitcher look like a Cy Young candidate, right? It's a common thing. Now, his pitching count is at 34. It's really pretty good, especially considering how he's performed in the past. That's really, really good. He's at like 11.3 pitches per inning. And he's put away 9 Astros in a row. He's having a phenomenal day so far. You know, even if he gets blown up in the 4th and the 5th and he gets taken out, he's probably going to be excited about those 3 innings, right? Probably so. 3 hits for the Orioles, none for the Astros. 0-0 right now. Kick some dirt on him. Looking at some of the comments in the other chat is pretty funny. It's funny. Adley Rutschman is back up at the plate. Fromber with 40 pitches now. Here comes the first pitch from Fromber. Change up. Heading outside by a few inches. Ball 1. Yeah, that's right. Cy Young pitching. 9 up and 9 down. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's a bouncer straight to Dubon. Snatches it up. Fires to first. No problem. 1 away. That's a good start. 2 pitches. 1 out. Ryan Mountcastle comes to the plate. First pitch is on the way. On the outside edge, 91 miles an hour on that changeup. Strike 1. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice. The curveball, the bottom fell out of it. He went after it. Now that's encouraging because the last game, Fromber's curveball was not getting those swings and misses like this. It's looking good this game, but he hasn't thrown it as much. So I wonder why. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Another curveball and a swing and a miss. As soon as we talk about it, he throws another one in there. You got Frombergled, my friend. Man, what a beautiful looking curve. Look at that. Woo! Eat that. 2 away. 45 pitches now for Fromber. Here comes the next pitch to Kobe Mayo. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Low and outside. Good toss. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. It looks like he's working on a second one. 0-1 pitch on the way. This is hit hard to left field all the way out to the wall. That's gone. Line drive. No strikeout for Mr. Mayo. He decides to order the full meal with mayo, mustard, and everything on it. Onions, pickles, sesame seed buns, special sauce, right into the Crawford boxes. 1-0 O's Fromberg gives up a rare home run, and it was a line drive shot. Look at that. And it was on that same pitch. Yes, it was a terrible pitch. The commentator said it wasn't a terrible pitch. Yes, it was. It was absolutely terrible. What are you looking at? It had almost no break on it, and it was right in the bottom of the zone. It was the same pitch that they've been hitting. First pitch to Jackson is up and in for ball one. Here comes the next pitch. 77 in the bottom of the zone, strike one, 1-1. What in the world are these commentators thinking about when he puts one in the bottom of the zone with almost no movement on it? How can that not be a bad pitch? I know that's not what he intended, but that's what happened. 2 balls and 1 strike with that ball in the dirt, and Valdez is now up to 50 pitches. What looked like was gonna be a 3-up and 3-down inning has turned into a 4th batter situation. 91 on the outside, too far outside. Check swing? No, he didn't go. 2-1. 3-1. Actually. 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs, nobody on. 4 hits for the Dirty Birds, 1-0. Here's the pitch. 90 miles an hour, hit out to the right field. Cam Smith is back to the warning track, and he grabs it for out number 3. But not before Fromberg gives up a solo shot. Can't really complain about that. 1 run in 4 innings, not a big deal, but the Astros need to start hitting the ball now. They got to start hitting the ball between the 4th and the 5th inning so that we don't have to start stressing out. I mean, if you think about it, the way that the Orioles played with the Mariners just scoring like 1 run or 2 runs, barely eking out a win. I'll have none of that, thank you. I'll have none of that for the Astros. Let's see here. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Let's see. I'm going to ask a question, a poll question. First pitch to Altuve. A little high for ball 1. There we go. Boom. Next pitch to Altuve on the way. A little outside. Oh my gosh, how can you call that a strike? Look at that, it was a good couple inches out of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. This umpire is being really inconsistent. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. 84 at the bottom of the zone on the cutter. Altuve goes after it. Misses it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Altuve. We need the snap, baby. We need the Altuve snap. Here comes the toss. Little lone outside. He gets the call there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of gave one back. Kind of. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This is grounded to the third base side. He throws it on the run, is able to get him. Almost got through, but not quite. One away on the ground out. Wow, so far on the poll, nobody is voting for Spencer Arrighetti. That's amazing. Here comes the first pitch to Correa. High and outside. Who will come through for the Astros? Correa hits this one out to right field pretty deep, but it looks like it's going to be at the warning track, and it is. Put away for out number 2. He just got too much air underneath it. 2 away. You guys do know that prior to all of the injuries and such, Spencer Arrighetti was our main third guy, right? You do know that. Do you remember that? Or do you know that? Sanchez at the plate, 95 miles an hour right in the zone, fouled off. $11 votes so far on the poll. Not a single person voting for Arrighetti. Got votes for Garcia, though. That's amazing. The poll doesn't say who do you want to be. 88 miles an hour, opposite field in the air. Should be an easy play. And he gets it. There we go. Look at that. 12 Astros retired in a row. Not a single hit, not a single person on base, not a walk, not so much as a sniff of first base for the Astros right now. Maybe this is one of those games where the starting pitcher has a really good time through 5 innings, and then he either gets totally destroyed and taken out with a 4 or 5 run inning, or whenever he comes out, we just completely destroy the relievers. Could be. We'll see. Brandon Young is Cy Young. That's right. That's right. Brandon C. Young. Yeah, that's his name. Brandon C. Young. I wouldn't say it's embarrassing, Brendan. It's just, that's baseball. That's literally baseball. I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised. Let's take a look at the poll right quick. We got a little bit of a break. Only 14 votes right now. The question in the poll is, who will be our third man in the pitching rotation? Jason Alexander, Christian Javier, Spencer Arrighetti, or Luis Garcia? Who do you think? Yeah, that's right, old dog. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, any given day, right? For baseball, it's any given day. But yeah, you're absolutely right, 100%. 15 votes, 5 more votes at least, and I will close the poll. I want to see. Why hasn't anybody voted for Spencer Arrighetti, but we've got some votes for Luis Garcia? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm shocked. It makes me wonder just how well we Astros fans know the pitchers. Here comes the first pitch to Dylan Carlson. That is, low and inside. A little far inside, but labeled a strike. 0-1 is the count. Old dog, be our savior again. That'd be nice. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard into left field all the way out to the warning track. All right, Sanchez gets it on the run. He doesn't have to run into the wall this time, thank goodness. I'm sure he's still trying to get adjusted to his surroundings out there. 1 up and 1 down. Daniel Johnson comes to the plate. Angel's right. It's hard to win games with that offense. Got to get something going sooner rather than later. That's absolutely true. Here's the pitch. Right in there, 96 miles an hour, strike one to Daniel Johnson. You know, it's really funny because I've seen some college football teams that were just run and gun. They could score like 70 points and just tear up other teams. This is hit up the middle. Fromber knocks it down. Diaz picks it up, fires to first, but he's safe. Man, Fromber threw his glove behind his back. Fromber's laughing about it. He almost caught that behind his back. Pretty amazing. Look at this. Fromber almost caught that. Went behind his back. Look at that. It went in his glove and out. Look how close. Look how close that was. Oh my gosh. Runner on first with an infield hit. 1 out. 95 miles an hour to Jackson Holliday right in the center of the plate. Strike one. And that was pretty amazing. Almost an amazing play. It was still pretty amazing, but almost a perfect play. Another one, 94 miles an hour right in there. Strike two. 0-2 to Holliday. Yeah, Brendan, it was nice to see him laugh about that. That was pretty crazy. And he was laughing with the umpire about it. The umpire was like, man, that was pretty amazing. Fromber is, yeah, no, right? Almost had it. Double play ball. We're going to get a Fromber special. Here comes the 0-2. No, he goes over to first base. Runner is back. 0-2 is the count with 1 out. Runner on first base. Definitely would like to see that double play. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We got 21 votes. I guess I'll end the poll right now. We did finally get a vote for Arrighetti. Here's the pitch. That's opposite field, and Dubon dives for it, can't get it. He's going for 3. Going for third, rather. Holliday is on with a single. Johnson gets the third base with the hustle. The Dubon dive, the Doobie dive, doesn't quite get it. That was very close to a double play ball, but a few feet too far away. Now we have runners on the corners with 1 out. A little meeting on the mound with the infield. Jordan Westberg comes to the plate. A spot of watching from the dugout as Pena gives us a Taqueras Arandas commercial. 60 pitches now for Valdez. In the poll, 61% of you think that Christian Javier will be our third man. 28% say Jason Alexander. Only 4% say Spencer Arrighetti, and then Luis Garcia. I'm amazed. Yes, old dog, this is an old-timey jam for sure. We don't have Colton Gordon here, but we have his spirit. 95 miles an hour off the plate to Westberg. 1 ball, no strikes. Abel, you almost hit an Oriole. Just like the Astros. The Astros have almost hit, but haven't yet. Here comes the 1-0. That's outside. Just misses on the curveball. 2 balls and no strikes. We have 1 out. Runners on first and second. The Orioles with 6 hits now. 1 run on the board in the 4th inning. Here in the top of the 5th, Fromber trying to hold him off. He throws it over to first base. The runner's back. Mariners came back and are ahead of the Mets 7-6. That's not good news. That's not good news. Come on, Mets. Here comes the 2-0. In the dirt and inside. 3 straight balls to Westberg. Yeah, pretty sure that Josh Miller is going to come out and have a little chit-chat with Fromber if he walks Westberg right here. Come on, where is the Fromber special? I'm placing an order for a Fromber special. That would be the double play. Here's the toss. Too far inside on the 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Ball 4. Gunnar Henderson comes to the plate with bases loaded. 1 out. This is indeed an old-timey jam. And that's right. Josh Miller indeed comes out as predicted. I am Nostradamus. But that was an easy prediction, so I won't count that one. This gives me an opportunity to enjoy some nice lukewarm coffee. Well, it's lukewarm anyway. So let's see here. Valdez is a lefty. He's going to be facing Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson is also a lefty. If you look at the last at bat of Henderson, he was struck out by Fromber. Doesn't seem to be able to put the bat on the ball too well against Fromber. That's a 96-mile-per-hour sinker below the zone, ball 1. But then again, he doesn't have to try to swing and hit the ball. If Fromber is throwing balls, that's 5 straight balls thrown by Valdez. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Another one below the zone. Man, that was not even competitive. 2 balls and no strikes. 6 straight balls thrown. Tepid. Haven't heard that word in a while, but then again, I'm in Japan, so basic English at best is what I typically hear here. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That's right in there, 96-mile-per-hour pitch. Good movement. But the main thing was it was in the zone and he didn't swing. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gunnar. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Nice! 96 miles an hour on that outside edge. Gunnar seems to be gunning for a walk. But that was right in there. 96 miles an hour on that outside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 1 out, bases juiced. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Too low there to get him swinging, Fromber. Choose your pitch wisely right here, my friend. Full count. 69 pitches. The 70th of the game coming for Fromber right now. He hits it in the air to left field. That's probably going to be a tag for a run. Sanchez is underneath it. Here comes the throw. And the tag. It's too late. The ball gets by Diaz. That's going to score another run, looks like. Yeah, it does. Nobody was there covering the plate. 2-run score. A 2-run sacrifice fly due to mismanagement at the plate. Yainer could not catch that ball. That was not a bad throw from Sanchez. It came in just a little late. But it hit the runner, looks like. Yeah, his glove and the ball hit the runner in the face. And when Yainer was too slow to go after the ball, look at that. Nobody was paying attention. Nobody. Defensive failure. And they're going to give an E7, an error on that play for that second run. 3-0 Orioles with 6 hits. Terrible defensive play by the Astros. Runner on second with 2 outs. Adley Rutschman at the plate. 1-0 is the count. You know, if the Astros are going to lose to the Orioles, they may as well lose because of incompetence. That would at least make them look a little better. To not have a good defensive day. 93 miles an hour, right in there, strike 1. The count is even. Maybe if the Astros put some runs on the board, but they just play terrible defense, then they have an excuse. It was an off day. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This is bounced to third, just foul. Correa makes a long throw to first. Good looking throw. Wow. But that's 1-2. You're right, Brendan. It does. Which makes the Astros bats look even worse. They definitely can't be shutting down. I mean, we don't even have any guys on base. It's bad enough not to have any hits, but not even have any walks. Nobody on base at all. Not a single guy. Yeah, they got to figure that out. I have a feeling his luck is over, though. This is grounded to Urias, who fires it over to first base for out number 3. 2 more runs, one on an error, the other on a sacrifice fly. 3-0 Orioles with 6 hits on the board. The Astros have more errors than they do hits. 0 runs, 0 hits, 1 error. Wow, the Mariners are up 10-6. Yeah, this is a must-win game for the Astros. If the Mets are unable to come back, we can't afford to give up a full game on our 1.5 game lead. If we can come back and win this, which we can. I mean, 3-0 is not out of hand against the Orioles. But to come back and win, we would be able to at least maintain our division lead. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to get concerned yet. It's slightly annoying. Chris wants to watch the Mariners game. I don't even think I can watch the Mariners game. I can pull up the live score. Let's see here. Well, the inning is over for the Mariners, looks like. Yeah, they got 5 runs. They got 5 runs in the 7th. Can you believe that? They were down 6-5, and they put up 5 runs in the 7th. Now they're leading 10-6. That's crazy. 2 more innings to go. The Mets are down by 4. Come on, Mets. Got to do something. Christian Walker is due up, followed by Yainer Diaz and Ramon Urias. Yeah, Mark, I have MLB Network, but I cannot watch that game because I bought the Astros package exclusively. I don't have all MLB games. I just have the Astros games. Here's the pitch. 91 miles an hour in the top of the zone. Strike 1 on that fastball to Christian Walker. Sounds like a fun game for the Mariners fans. I wouldn't want to be a Mets fan right now after getting that many runs and suddenly giving up 5 runs in 1 inning. I wouldn't be happy about that. Here comes the next pitch to Walker, way outside on the cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That's outside. Good take. A few inches out off the plate there. 2-1. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, curveball. He went to go after it and stopped, but it was in the bottom of the zone for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Walker. .94 on the outside edge, fouls it off. Count remains 2-2. Yeah, Jay, and his last start just 3 innings. I think he might have been pulled out even before. He didn't even last 3 innings, right? Here's the pitch. This is grounded to the third base side. He scoops it up and fires to first. Another ground out. 1 away. Yainer Diaz coming to the plate in a moment. Maybe this is a case of the Astros being overconfident. Instead of focusing on just playing good ball, they look at the team and they look at the pitcher as, oh, this is a cakewalk, and this mentally not taking it as seriously as they should. Yainer Diaz goes to right center. It does not drop. That's 2 down. The very first pitch, opposite field. It was caught. Two up and 2 down. 14 up and 14 down. Ramon Urias. This would be just desserts, right? Or this would be poetic justice for Urias to be the first one to get on base against the Orioles, wouldn't it? Here's the pitch. 83 miles an hour right in there. The count is even, 1-1. It's the bottom of the 7th, John, I believe. Bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. 87 miles an hour on the changeup right in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now it looks like it's at the top of the 8th. Mets didn't do anything in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Look at that. Another strikeout, another out. 15 straight outs for Brandon Young. No hits, no walks. Nothing for the Astros. Not a single Astro on base in 5 straight innings. He's got basically a perfect game going on through 5 innings. Can you believe that? Super chat if you want some runs. Yeah, I haven't had a single super chat this game. Maybe that's what it is. I'm going to be greedy and say super chat for the win. I don't care if it's $1. Send me $1. Send me a super chat for $1. Maybe if we get a few dollars, it will add up to the total of runs that the Astros will get. Maybe it's 0 super chat, 0 Astros runs. Oh, man. What a day. Actually, the super chats sometimes remind me of how people bet. When they're winning, they start betting more. Or when their team is doing good, they start betting more or going more in. But that's the time where you should be a little more conservative. It's kind of like when a player gets to his peak and then you give him a lot of money and then he declines. Because you have to try to lock him in when he's on the way up and you get that good rate and then you can enjoy his peak. But paying a player a lot of money after his peak, aka Jose Abreu, for example, that's a losing situation. Yes, Jordan, Paredes, and Myers. Don't forget Myers. Jake the Rake. Our big hitters, our 300-plus hitters are not in the game. We do have Altuve, though. He's been freaking hot. He's been amazing. Just hasn't done anything yet this game. Next pitch to Mountcastle's on the way in the dirt. 2 straight balls in the dirt to Mountcastle. 2-0 is the count. Two and 0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. There's another base hit into center field. That will be base hit number 7 for the Orioles. We have a runner on base, a leadoff runner with Mountcastle's single. Kobe Mayo comes to the plate. He has a solo homer. Yeah, Prodigy, that's everybody's feeling right now. Brandon Cy Young. First pitch to Mayo on the way. 92 in the bottom of the zone. Strike one. I'm surprised that Valdez went with that pitch. I'm pretty sure that's the one he hit out of the park earlier. A low in the zone sinker with not much movement on it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 95 sinker. A little higher, fouled off. 0-2. 74. Billy Wagner, guys. Billy Wagner. Check that out. Maybe we can put him in the game. Here comes the 80th pitch for Fromber. Swing and a miss. How about that? He got Frombergled. Finally, something nice to cheer about. 3-pitch strikeout to Kobe Mayo, who hit the home run earlier. Fromber gets a little bit of sweet revenge. 1 out. Runner on first. Jeremiah Jackson comes to the plate. Here comes the first pitch. Nice. 95 on the inside edge. Strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That was a really nice pitch. The 79-mile-per-hour curveball. Once again, I'm not sure why Fromber isn't going to that one more often. It's looking so good this game. 0-2 is the count. 5 straight strikes. Let's make it 6. Here comes the toss. Nice! Strike 3. Another curveball on the outside edge. Fromber gets 2 strikeouts on 6 straight pitches. Holy freaking cow. 2 away. Runner camped out on first. Dylan Carlson comes to the plate. 3-pitch strikeout. Immediately asks for timeout. Not quite sure why he needed it before the bat even started. First pitch from Fromber on the way. This is hit hard out into left field, but high, not deep. Sanchez is underneath it. How about that? First batter gets on with a hit, but with 7 pitches, Fromber gets 2 strikeouts and a flyout to end the inning. So he shuts it down in the top of the 6th. The Orioles get nothing. Bottom of the 6th coming up. The Tram is due up, followed by Doobie, and then Crank It Up Cam. J. Paul, our average versus scrub pitcher. All right, maybe we'll get 2 runs now in the 6th inning. Jay, if we get 2 runs for the $2, that's going to be pretty amazing. The Frombergler is on the prowl. That is right. He was that inning, Mr. Page. He definitely was that inning. Mr. Antonio, our bats can't be silent forever. Not forever. Maybe what we need is the Batman. We just might need the Batman. Yeah, absolutely. Step on the gas, Abel. Step on the gas. Step on the gas, baby. They're showing some highlights. Yainer Diaz home run. That one versus the Mariners. I want to see one of those in this game. I want to see the train leave the station and make a round, Mr. Tram. Here's the pitch. He puts down a bunt, goes to first. But it just was bunted too hard to the pitcher, and he's able to throw him out. It would have been nice if Tram had put that down the third baseline instead. He bunted it just way too hard. But, you know, they tried. They tried small ball. Didn't work. Doobie's at the plate with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. Right in there with that curveball. Strike 1 in the bottom of the zone. I hear that, Mr. Page. Here's the pitch. Doobie on the ground to shortstop. He fires it to first. Man, he sure did come off the bag fast. He's thrown out at first base, but that first baseman looks like... It looked like to me he brought his foot off the bag before he even caught the ball. I'd like to see that on a replay. 17 straight batters retired, and Cam is at the plate. Let's do it, Cam. 82 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Oh and 1 is the count. 60 pitches now for Brandon Young. Here's the pitch. Outside. Oh, come on. Don't help the pitcher. That was outside, clearly outside by a couple of inches. Called a strike. It's 0 and 2 to Cam Smith. Come on, Cam. Here's the 0 and 2 pitch from Brandon Young. He hits that one to the shortstop, who backhands it, fires it to first. Is he safe? No. They call him out. That was close. But no cigar. 18 straight batters retired by Brandon Young. Not a single hit, not a walk, nothing. But the Astros do have an error. There's that. Oh, man. Okay, now... This is officially a fun game. Our sarcastic prodigy, LFG. Arigato. Thank you so much for that. Now we have about $7 total on the Super Chats. Maybe the Astros are going to put 7 runs on the board between the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. Do you guys and gals remember the days when people would say, it's all right, the Astros are a 7th inning team. They light it up in the 7th. Do you remember those days? Did those days go away? I wonder. You know what? I'm going to get some fresh coffee. Maybe that's the problem. I'm going to put some water on for fresh coffee. I'll be right back. All right, the water is on. Whoa. Let's move that out of the way. My mini tripod is on the floor there. All right, as soon as I come back, Fromber gets a strikeout. Nice. That's a good start. All right. Look at that. 7 strikeouts by J.P. France last night in 4 innings. How about that? 8.2 innings pitched by Garcia. 13 strikeouts. 1 walk. We got a couple of guys blowing it up right now. Look at those stats. J.P. France, Garcia, holy freaking cow. 1-0 is the count to Jackson Holiday. He fouls that one off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Thanks, old dog. Go enjoy your dinner, and when you come back, this game will be blowed up. Astros in charge, baby. It's bird time? Yeah, we're going to give them the bird. That's what's up, Caesar. We're going to give them the bird. That's fouled off. That last pitch. We've got a 1-1 count against Holiday. Low and outside on the 97-mile-per-hour sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike, rather. Looks like there's some bullpen action going on for the Astros. Here's the pitch. Grounded to Urias at second, who throws it over to first. Holiday's pretty fast. He gets down that line really fast, but he is retired. Like an Oji-san. That's how you say grandpa in Japanese. Oji-san. Grandma is Oba-san. 92 pitches now for Fromber. Trying to get through the 7th inning. He's got 2 outs right now. The first pitch to Jordan Westberg is on the way. Hit up the middle, and it's going to be down for another hit. Single. Very first pitch. Right up the middle. Westberg has been on base 3 times against Fromber. He's got Fromber's number tonight, that's for sure. Caesar, hello to you. Thank you for coming back and being here. Maybe since you're here now, the good luck will roll in. Sprained left capsule shoulder for Josh Hader. Sprained left capsule shoulder. That's what I just heard in the chat there, or in the live commentary. Sprained left capsule in the shoulder for Josh Hader. 1 ball, no strikes to Gunnar Henderson. Runner on first, 2 outs. 8 hits for the Orioles. Fromber at 95 pitches with this delivery. Nice. 95 miles an hour. Speaking of 95. 1 ball, 1 strike. 95 miles an hour on the 95th pitch. Is he going to do 96 on the 96th pitch, though? That's the question. Here comes the 1-1 no. He goes over to first to take a little break. I didn't quite get a glimpse of who's out in the bullpen, but somebody's warming up out there. Looks like a righty. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. This is rifled down the first baseline, foul. 1-2 is the count. One and one to Gunnar. Here comes the pitch. Whoa, almost hit him. Wild pitch. They throw it to second base and they tag him. No, almost. Dubon had to scoop it up. The ball was in the dirt. Diaz was able to get it pretty quickly, though, because it bounced off that back wall pretty quick. And he was able to get a really fast throw to second. Just wasn't quite caught and tagged by Dubon. It was close. Westberg gets on second base. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Oh, man, a swing and a foul tip miss. but the ball drops out of Yiner's glove. The count remains 2-2. That could have been strike 3 right there. "98 pitches for Valdez. Here's the next one. This is grounded on the left side. That's going to score another run. Single. Westberg comes around. It's 4-0 Orioles on that single. That's hit number 9 for the Birds. Might be it for Fromber. He's up to 99 pitches. Is that going to be it? Opposite field single. Look at that. That didn't even move. Right down the middle, a two-seam fastball. Maybe you would call that a sinker with no movement, but that's what they've been hitting off of Fromber all night long. That one pitch. Yep, and Espada takes Fromber out. That's going to be it. Are you talking about the foul tip, Hashman? No, that was a foul tip, and Diaz dropped it. If that's the pitch you're talking about, it was an almost strikeout. If it's a foul tip on strike 3, then the catcher has to hold on to it, and it dropped out of Diaz's glove right there at the plate. So, close but no cigar, and it cost the Astros a run. I mean, you can't blame Diaz for that, you know. Can't always catch a foul tip. If he had, that would have been strike 3 and we'd be out of the inning. But he got the opposite field hit. Now we're down 4-0, and Fromber's out. He didn't get to complete the 7th inning, and we're going to have a pitching change. Yeah, it does suck, but it kind of right now, I mean, going into the bottom of the 7th in just a moment after we get this last out, whether it's 3 runs or 4 runs, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. The Astros are going to have to do a lot of hitting and a lot of scoring regardless. I don't see that it's any difference between 4 and 3 runs with this team, to be honest. My hot water is ready. I'll be right back. I'm going to make myself some fresh hot coffee. Well, you guys are probably not going to like this too much, but we have Sean Dubin in the game. I'm guessing that you're not going to like that announcement, but Sean Dubin is our reliever. 94 miles an hour right in there. Strike 1. Sean Dubin. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Below the zone, 95 miles an hour on that fastball. 1-1. Runner on first base with 2 outs. Here in the top of the 7th, Fromber gave up 1 run already. Left 1 on base for Sean Dubin. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Rutschman. He grounds it to second base, scooped up by Urias, who goes to first base, and that will be out number 3. So Dubin gets the 1 out that we need to end this inning. 4 runs on the board with 9 hits for the Orioles. If you were to ask me who has 9 runs and 4 hits versus the other team's no hits and no runs at the end of 7, who do you think that would be? The Astros or the Orioles? Now, if I were to just look at both teams, honestly, I would say that must be the Astros that score the runs and the hits. But, of course, the negative side of me, and I really don't have that much of a negative side anymore. It's something that I choose to not have. But of course, you know, you have that old man. What the Bible calls the old man, or are you all familiar with the old man? The old man represents the everything bad about yourself. You know, all of the anxiety, the fear, the worry, the negativity, the hate, the anger, you know, all of those things bundled up into one one being, which is the old man. And that's the part of you that you're supposed to put to death every day. Every day you get up, you die. It doesn't mean you, it means that old man or that old woman, you know. Well, you know, Hashman, look at this. The Orioles got 3 runs in 2 innings, and the Astros are playing the Orioles, you know. So anything is possible. And you said it, 3 innings. You said 9 outs, but that's a lot of baseball, especially with a team with as much talent as the Astros. Obviously, they haven't been showing that so far, but that doesn't really matter. My hero, Jose Altuve, is coming to the plate. Crowd is on their feet right now, cheering. Looks like they are wanting to see some action. Brandon Young is back on the mound. He's at 62 pitches. Here's the first pitch to Altuve. Get ambushed. That's rocketed down the line, but scooped up by the third baseman, who fires over. Man, Altuve has been putting the bat on the ball on that first pitch, but just right where the third baseman is. One away. The 64th pitch of the game coming against South Korea. Here's the toss. Low and outside. Ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 toss. Right on the outside edge, 83-mile-per-hour cutter, 1-1. Yeah, I mean, it's bad enough that it's a shutout, but not only a no-hitter, but basically perfect game. Nobody's even been on base. No walks, no nothing. That's fouled off down the third base line by Correa. Now, Correa is a really good, what I call a professional hitter. If he sees a hole somewhere, he's really good at punching it through there. He's been doing that a lot this season. Here's a 1-2 pitch. He punches this one into center field, but it's too far. That's going to be caught by the center fielder. He tried to tap it out there, but he got it a little too much of it. It carried out to the center fielder. See you later, negative hash man. Giving up on the Astros. 4-0 in the 7th. That's terrible. Jesus Sanchez at the plate. Way up high. Ball 1. 68 pitches now for Young. Sanchez calls timeout. I'm not content with just the series. I want to sweep it. I want the whole series. Here comes a pitch. A little high. He holds up. Sanchez almost went around. He's smiling at the pitcher. It's funny how even in this situation, Sanchez can enjoy the game so much. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Outside, ball 3. 3-0. Sanchez getting into it right now. 70 pitches for Young. Here comes the next one right in there. 95 miles an hour, strike 1. 3-1. Interesting to see what he's going to toss right here. Is he going to try to go for a strike? Or try to throw him some trash? Here's the pitch. 94 in the top of the zone, fouled off. He tried to throw a fastball by him. Didn't quite work, but it is a full count. John, the answer is because that's baseball, man. That's baseball. It happens. Here comes the full count. On the outside edge, hit into the left side, all the way to the wall. Off the wall, foul. The left fielder runs all the way into the wall. That's going to be an extra at bat for Sanchez. That was close. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Broken bat to the right side. He throws it to the pitcher a little behind him, but he gets it for the third out. 7 innings, 21 straight outs. No walks, no hits, no nothing for the Astros. Brandon Young has been perfect through 7 innings. What in the world is going on? Hey, 11-9. Well, that's better than 10-6. The Mariners are leading by 2 going into the 9th inning. Yeah, that's right, John. No walks is straight up stingy. I mean, right there with 3-0, Sanchez could have just stood there, acted like he was gonna swing, and just taken all 3 pitches. He could have done that just to try to get a walk. But, you know, everything he swung at was actually in the zone, so he would have struck out anyway. I think he would have struck out looking. Yeah, top of the 9th. Let me reload that. It looks like top of the 9th. The Mariners have a guy on second base with no outs right now. The Mets actually scored 3 runs in the 8th, and they came within just 1 run. Now they're down by 2. Hopefully they can hold and come back in the bottom of the 9th. Maybe they can walk off the Mariners. Oh, this is the wrong screen. There we go. Crawford just flew out. So the Mariners have a runner on second with 1 out in the top of the 9th. Sean Dubin is back on the mound, and this is hit way out there to deep right center field. Off the wall. That's a leadoff double in the very first pitch from Dubin. Orioles continue to get hits, and they are now in double digits with their 10th hit of the game. Mr. Page, I missed that. Who said that? That wasn't Hashman, or John? Who said that? Mountcastle on base with a double off the wall. Kobe Mayo at the plate takes the first pitch for strike 1. I think I might have missed that, Mr. Page. If so, then I need to address it because I don't want that kind of crap in my chat. You know what I'm saying? Here's the pitch outside. Who was it that said that? I want to see who said that because I want to be on the lookout for that. I can't accept that. 1-1. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the right side, picked up by Walker. Walker will take it to the bag, but the runner, Mountcastle, gets to third base. 1 away, runner on third. It was Hashman? It was Hashman? Okay. There we go. I put him in timeout for 24 hours. That means he can't be back for the game tomorrow. He can't comment in the game tomorrow. Yeah, it doesn't matter. 24-hour timeout. 93 up and in to Jeremiah Jackson. 1 ball, no strikes. Sean Dubin on the mound. Runner on third with 1 out. Here in the top of the 8th. Here comes the pitch. Fouls it off into the crowd on the right side. 1-1 is the count. Well, I can't ban him immediately for that, Brendan. I'm careful about how I ban, because there have been some times where people surprised me and they've said, listen, I'm sorry, I was just really upset and I didn't mean to be so negative. I apologize. They really do surprise me sometimes. Well, that's going to score another run right up the middle. A single. 5-0 Orioles. 11th hit of the game. Bong man and weed man. That might be his excuse. Sorry, man, I just had way too much weed, you know. I was hitting the bong way too much. Way too much, and my feelings got away from me. You know, my feelings. Well, 5-0. Jeremiah Jackson will be replaced with a pinch runner on first base. Dylan Carlson is at the plate facing Dubin, a lefty. Here's the first pitch. He throws it over to first base instead. Runner is back. I did not have a good feeling about Dubin coming in before, and I didn't have a good feeling about him coming in today. I just didn't think he was ready. Here comes the first pitch. 95 miles an hour on the fastball. Outside, ball 1. Dylan Carlson at the plate. At least I have a nice lunch to look forward to. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. A nice big Astros comeback in a delicious lunch of bacon, sausage, eggs, and cheese. That would be wonderful today. Here comes the pitch. 86 barely catches the outside edge, but he calls it a ball. That's 3-0. Brendan's given up 2. It's okay. I'm going to stay here because it's what I do. 3-0. Runner on first. Here's the pitch. On the outside edge, 3 balls and 1 strike. Finally gets a strike, but just barely. And I'm pouring myself a fresh cup of coffee right now. Dubin comes set. Here comes a 3-1 pitch to Carlson. Hit high into left field. Is it going to be playable by Sanchez? It's gone. No, it's gone in the corner. Right in the corner of the Crawford boxes. I kid you not. Quietly goes out. 7-0. Dubin gives up a 2-run homer. Now the Astros are booing. First time I've heard the Astros boo in a long time. But the Astros fans in Dyking Park are booing right now. Opposite field homer. 12 hits. Dubin has only been in the game a couple of times and he's given up 3 home runs. One out, nobody on. There's a silver lining, nobody on base. First pitch is in the dirt. Wild pitch. Ball 1, 1-1. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Orioles. Happy thoughts, that's right. Go to a happy place. 94 fouled off on the outside edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, the Astros are getting better and better. Every day in every way, Dubin is getting better and better. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt again. 2 balls and 1 strike. ESPN and other sports media teasing about Young's potential perfection. Mark, he's not going to get there. I'd be surprised if the Orioles left him in to try to give him a full game. I don't think they're going to leave him in there. 94 miles an hour fouled off. Is that going to be in play? Correa gets over there, but it's about 2 rows back, so strike 2. 2-2 is the count. John B says, I remember when Astros put 20 runs on Baltimore in Baltimore, full circle. Yeah, that's just it. MLB, you know, what goes around comes around. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch to Johnson. He grounds that one to first base. Walker's able to scoop it up and step on the base himself. 2 down. Gone Carnivore says, my son's taking his girlfriend to an Astros game tomorrow. First game without me. It's kind of sad in a way, but I hope the Astros have a better outcome. What in the world? They got like a beer keg over there that they're drinking water out of or something. That's ridiculous. First pitch is a ball to Jackson Holiday. My coffee is almost ready. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Dubin. Way outside on the changeup. All right. Fresh, hot cup of coffee on the way. I wish I could take my daughter to a game anywhere. I don't care where. I'd like to just spend time with her. 87 on the outside edge. 2 balls and no strikes. It's sad when we can't spend time with our kids. I understand that feeling. 80 miles an hour, low and in, fouled off. The count is 2-2. My biggest baseball memory with my daughter is just that foul ball that I got for her at the minor league game. Shreveport Captains. Never got to take her to an MLB game. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Dubin finally gets out of the inning with a strikeout. I think this game has given me a headache. I'm actually feeling lightheaded. You guys and gals don't hear it because I mute the microphone, but I have coughed a lot during this broadcast. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like I have some liquid in my lungs, you know, some very loose congestion, I guess you could say. John says, I only get to see my kids like twice a month. When I was in the U.S., my daughter was 7 when my wife left. And from the very beginning, and I know this might sound unbelievable, or maybe to other people, they believe it 100% because they understand. But my wife filed secretly behind my back for divorce after telling me that she wanted us to go to counseling and work out our issues and, you know, just temporarily separate. And I said, well, I'd rather us stay together, but if that's what you want, we can do that. But actually what she had done was borrowed a lot of money and gone to a lawyer, a really nice lawyer, filed for divorce and custody of our daughter, and claimed that I was emotionally abusing our daughter, because you don't actually have to have any proof. If you claim physical abuse, there has to be some evidence of that. But apparently, if you claim emotional abuse, you don't need any evidence. You just need a claim. And the judge literally said, because I'm a man, they gave custody to my wife, my ex-wife, or at the time my wife, because I'm a man. It was a female judge, and she said, well, if you're claiming emotional abuse by a man, then we have to protect the the girl first. My daughter cried every night on the phone trying to come home, and I couldn't do anything about it. Good times. Christian Walker at the plate. Anyway, after that point, I could only see my daughter 2 hours a week. They gave complete custody to her, basically, and I had to have supervised visitation with no evidence of anything. It was crazy. 94 miles an hour. I'm sorry to be a bummer. Just saying it factually, but 0-2 is the count to Christian Walker. Brandon Young's still on the mound with 74 pitches thrown, 50 strikes. The umpire told Spada to come out. They're complaining a little bit about some of the pitches because the umpire has been calling a lot of pitches way out of the zone. 2 to 3 inches out of the zone, 2 to 3 inches under the zone. But Espada's not yelling, he's just calling with him. But you know, it was really funny because Espada was complaining from the dugout and the umpire just stopped the game and he waved at him and he said, "Come on out." That was pretty funny. Yeah, he looks over and he's like, "Hang on just a second." He goes, he did throw him out. Okay, I didn't see that. He did throw him out, but after that, he told him to come over and have a talk. But he threw Espada out. But it looks like Espada's still in the dugout, though. Maybe he changed his mind. Interesting. 0-2. Here comes a pitch to Walker. In the dirt. 1-2. Gone Carnivore says, "I got custody of my son, but my ex got my daughter. Only see her twice a month. It's terrible. It's terrible." Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 2-2. Walker pushing Brandon Young to the max. Is this where the cracks become a flood? The dam falls apart and the Astros show them what's up in Daikin Park. Here's the pitch. Oh, he strikes out 95 miles an hour on a half swing on the outside edge. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. And that brings up Yainer Diaz. Yeah, John, you're right. The system is crazy. But you know what? There's really nothing to be sorry about. You know, things always happen for a reason, and that reason is always for the best. It's difficult to see sometimes because of emotions. But it's okay. First pitch to Diaz is a curveball way outside and low. Thankfully, Diaz does not chase it. My daughter will be 25 in November. Yainer Diaz hits this one out into deep right center field, all the way back to the wall. They run into each other and they almost blow the catch there. The right fielder and the center fielder don't communicate. They collide at the wall. Luckily for them, they don't drop the ball, but unluckily for the Astros, man, look at them. Yeah, you got to listen, man. No, you got to listen. No, you got to listen. Holy cow, the Astros almost get a hit, or rather a guy on base from an error. Ramon Urias at the plate fouls the first pitch off. So close, and yet so far. Wouldn't it be silly for the Astros to get their first man on base with an error like that? Two guys running into each other. Bad news bears in the outfield. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 89 at the top of the zone on the splitter. 0-2 with 2 outs. Come on, Urias. Let's blow it open right here. Just one hit. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt. 1-2. We cannot go into the 9th inning with this guy having not a single hit, not a single runner on base. A perfect game? No way. Impossible. Ramon, you're the man. Against your own team. Do it. Come on, it's sweet justice right now. Do it against your old team. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I've been told several times, Gone Carnivore, stuff like that directly by the judges. This is tapped to the left side. It's going to be a barehanded throw by the pitcher. He throws it wild. He's going to go to second base. Look at that. It's going to be a single with an error, a fielding error, and Urias does it. No perfect game. There we go. This should be a single with an error. Batter gets to second base. The pitcher grabbed it bare hand and made a bad throw to first base. He tried. Just a terrible throw. E1. The error on the pitcher. It comes down to the pitcher's error. We get a guy on base. One hit for the Astros and one error on the pitcher. Sanchez at the plate. No, Taylor Trammell, I'm sorry. Fouled off 95 miles an hour. The Tram is at the plate with runner in scoring position. Yes, I can't defend getting no hit by this guy on this team. Absolutely, that's right. It's Urias, your former player. I said that way earlier. How nice would it be for him to break it up? 96 miles an hour on the inside. 1-1 is the count against the Tram. 2 outs. Urias on second base. One freaking hit for the Astros. And we are tied in errors. That's the most important stat. We're tied in errors with the Orioles. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Tram fouls that off. 96 inside. Feel like we already won. Yes, that was the walk-off, John. That was the walk-off. This game is done. It makes me wonder now they're going to immediately put a guy up in the bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Tram. Here comes the 90th pitch of the game for Young. He's sweating up a storm out there. Little check swing he holds up. They say he didn't go. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the curveball. How about a big hit by Tram? Come on, man. You got the power. You got the swing. This guy is ready and ripe. Here's the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt. Another curveball outside. Full count. This is definitely a turning point. No matter what happens the rest of this game, John, I believe you're right. Yeah, and Steel Viper, that's got to be tough to ruin your own perfect game. And not only that, against your former teammate, right? That's pretty hilarious. In a sad but funny way for us. Here's the 3-2. Fouled off. 96 inside. Brandon Young is throwing a little bit harder on his fastballs right now. He seems pretty ticked off. But he might be losing some control here. Looks like his parents are in the building there. And oh, his mom looks really ticked. 3-2 count. Here it comes. The Tram strikes out. High fastball. No RBI for the Astros this inning, but no perfect game. Womp womp. For Mr. Brandon Cy Young. Wannabe. But guess what, guys and gals? The Astros and the Orioles are tied. 1 error to 1 error. And it couldn't be funnier. I mean, come on. You got to find some humor in that. In the bottom of the 8th, he's got a perfect game going. Brandon Young has a perfect game going. No walks, no hits, no runs. Nobody has been on base at all. And finally, a guy hits the ball on the infield to Brandon Young, who has the perfect game going. It just so happens to be his former teammate. He picks up the ball with his bare hand, makes a bad throw to first base, and that turns into a hit. He goes to second because of the bad throw. So he also gets an error. So on the same play, with his former teammate. He loses the no-hitter and gets an error. That's just funny. Feel sorry for the guy, but sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Let's see here. We've got 83 people watching, not very high, but it's understandable given the situation of the game right now. Well, they got 3 runs off of Fromber, but that's still manageable, you know. They got 4 runs off our relievers. That was the big problem. Jordan Weems is now on the mound for the Astros, and I believe that I do not have his portrait right now. I'll have to make that later on, so you're just going to have to bear with the Dubin portrait. I don't think I have Weems. Let me double check. 0-2. 2 straight strikes from Weems. Yeah, I don't have a Weems picture yet. That's okay. I'll get one later. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ooh, swing, and he did not go. A little check swing there. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the slider. Seven and 2/3 inning of perfect pitching. Here's the 1-2. Lined and bounced over to Correa, who fires the first for out number 1. Jordan Westberg is retired, thankfully. I think he's been on base like 3 times, maybe 300 times. Gunnar Henderson due up, followed by Adley Rutschman. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside. A nice splitter gets the first strike. 0-1. Fox at bat says, here we are, no matter the situation. Go Astros. 100%. Here's the pitch. 97 right in the bottom of the zone. Strike 2. Weems has gotten out to an 0-2 count with both batters. First and second batter. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Henderson. Woo, barely below the zone. He doesn't give that one to Weems, but he was giving it to Young. Not giving it to us. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, that one bounced before the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Where's my spoon? My spoon disappeared. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out to Gunnar Henderson. Here comes the pitch from Weems. This is hit high in the air. Looks like it's going to be an infield fly. Doobie is under it. Puts it away. 2 down. Adley Rutschman is due up next. Big 9th inning coming up for the Astros. Now remember the other day when we got destroyed by the Red Sox, we managed to get 1 run in the 9th inning, right? 1 run. There was much celebrating. Are we going to be able to do that again? I think we can do more than that. 97, just a little inside, ball 1. Mr. Page says Costanza tomorrow, Javier on Sunday. They can still get the series if they pitch well. Yeah, all we need is decent pitching and decent hitting. That's all we ask for, not too much. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Pitching like that, 96 on the upper outer corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. What a game. What a game. Well, at least I know what my short highlight will be. Here's the pitch, the 1-1 outside, way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. I think my short highlight must be former Oriole breaks up teammates no-hit bid. Perfect game bid. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 3-1. Weems was looking really good there. Now suddenly he's throwing some wild pitches. Yeah, there we go. Povich versus Alexander and Creamer versus Javier. Here comes the next pitch, the 3-1. This is hit hard to right field. That's down for a hit. A 2-out single by Rutschman. He's 1 for 5 today. This is his first hit. Ryan Mountcastle due up. Come on, Weems. We need you to be solid, bro. Pretty sad right there, Mr. Page, but you're right. Player of the game. The only hit. Here's the pitch. A little low and outside. Ball 1. I really need some food in me. There's still a chance that the Orioles can blow this game. I mean, they're the Orioles. 90 miles an hour, low and outside. 2-0. Why can't I get this? Let me try to move this around. There we go. Trying to get the fan off my mic. Here's the 2-0 pitch. This is hit high in the air to right field. Is it going to be playable? Cam Smith is over. Right in the corner, and he puts it away right by the net. Good job. And that's out number 3. Weems gets out of it. 4 up and 3 down with 1 hit. No runs scored in the top of the 9th. If there are no batting changes, Mauricio Dubon is due up, followed by Cam Smith and then Jose Altuve. And Still Viper says, I'm more concerned with the hitting right now. We can't get any momentum going in games like this. You're right. You know, and it's crazy because we're at home in Dyking Park. We've got a lot of hype going on right now with some guys in our lineup. We've got a lot of talent. I mean, if you look who we had in the lineup today, I know that Pena was out and we don't have Jordan back, but dude, I mean, look at who we've got. The first 3 batters, Altuve, Correa, and Sanchez. They don't have a single hit between them. Not a single hit. I mean, it's bad enough that we've got 9 guys on the field and just 1 hit. That's bad enough. But the way I look at it is, Jose Altuve just DHing. Carlos Correa. Jesus Sanchez. A lefty. These are 3 guys that should be able to put together at least 1 hit each. At least. And they've done nothing. Not even a walk. Not a single walk by the Astros today. I understand that the pitcher has to throw balls out of the zone to walk. But this shows that the Astros haven't even been able to foul the ball off enough to draw the bad pitches, to get the walks. They've just been getting ground outs and soft fly outs. Not too many strikeouts, just 6. Just 6. And nobody struck out twice. The bottom of the batting order: Walker, Diaz, Urias, Trammell, Dubon, and Smith all struck out 1 time. First 3 batters that I mentioned, Altuve, Correa, and Sanchez, none of those guys struck out. They've just been grounding out and flying out. We do have a new pitcher, though. Yaramil Giraldo. 95 outside, swing and a miss, and that evens the count 1-1. Let's see if I can change his name. He's got an interesting name. Big swing, big cut by Doobie, and a miss for strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Yaramil Giraldo. Interesting name. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the toss. Doobie hits that one way up in the air on the infield. Error! Come on, make it an error. Error, error, error. He catches it. Okay. A 1-out rally is what we need here. Cam Smith comes to the plate. Goal number 1 is to ruin the shutout. Here's the first pitch. 87 right on the inside edge, taken for strike 1. No! That was called a ball. I can't believe it. 1-0. Here's the next pitch to Cam. Come on, Cam, crank it up. Right in there. That one is a no-doubter. 86 in the middle of the plate. Yeah. Still Viper says the Mariners won 11-9. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. Cam hits it out to center field and loses his helmet immediately. That's going to be an easy out probably, and it is. No error on that play. Cam looks so interesting with his hair cut short, doesn't he? Too bad the Astros aren't hitting as well as they buy their gold chains. They aren't performing as well as they shop. 2 outs. His first ever major league win for Brandon Young. Jose Altuve fouls it off. First pitch. Ground ball down the third base side. 0-1. Man, come on, Altuve. Be the one to put just one hit. Deposit one in the Crawford boxes, please. 87 miles an hour right in there, taken for strike 2. 0-2. Indeed, this was a strange game, Mr. Page. Very strange. Maybe they talked with the Red Sox. They got their stealing stuff from them. Swing and a miss by Altuve, and he strikes out, and that's it. Might as well strike out. Just Altuve chases one outside, and that's it. That's all she wrote for this game. 13 hits for the Orioles. 7 runs, 1 error. The Astros have 1 hit, no runs. They get shut out. 1 hit, 1 error. The Astros have more errors than runs. Just as many hits as errors. Yes, we are a half a game ahead of the Mariners right now with 2 more games to go against the Orioles. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, as I usually don't when the Astros lose, on the scoring summary. Everything was the Orioles. I'm not going to go into any detail. But basically, in the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, the 8th, the Orioles scored. They scored 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 more in the 7th, and then 3 more in the 8th. They scored 7 runs against the Astros, getting 13 hits. What did they do against Valdez? 6.2 innings pitched by Valdez. He gave up 9 hits and 3 runs. Now, giving up 3 runs in 6.2 is not a big deal, right? But Dubin and Weems were giving up hits. Dubin gave up 3 runs, 3 more runs, and that just put it way out of reach for the Astros. Not a good day for the Astros pitching, and a terrible day for their hitting. That's a really bad combo right there. If you're not scoring runs, it's hard enough to win, but when you're struggling on both sides of the ball, that's a recipe for a loss. And the O's get lucky today with this one, but they better enjoy it. Still Viper, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the consolation, for the consolation prize super chat. I'll call it maybe a sympathetic consolation prize super chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Oh, man. Christina, you're welcome. I apologize for the results of the game. Again, as I usually say, whenever the Astros lose, I'm not responsible. I'm just the messenger. So don't shoot me. Thank you for all of the likes today, the comments, the super chats, any new subscribers that happen to have come in. I probably didn't get any because when the Astros don't do well, people tend to not care about subscribing. Subscriptions go up whenever the Astros do well. My channel largely depends on how well the Astros perform. It's interesting how it works that way. Even if people come in and they're big Astros fans and they're happy to find a live play-by-play channel, a lot of times they won't join. They won't subscribe simply because the Astros weren't playing well. And that has absolutely nothing to do with my channel. It's interesting how that works, though. If you're interested, we will take a look at tomorrow's game. 1 second, please. All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at tomorrow's game. Let's do a little preview. Jason Alexander is going to be on the mound for the Astros tomorrow. He's facing off against Cade Povich. Cade Povich is 2-6 with a 4.95 ERA. 76.1 innings pitched. I can't speak right now. That game really tore me down. 82 hits, 80 strikeouts, 27 walks, 12 home runs. This guy gives up more walks. Maybe he won't have his control tomorrow. Maybe the Astros can get back on track tomorrow. We can get the train out of the building. We can get the tram on the tracks. We'll see. Alexander is now 3-1 with the Astros. He's got his ERA down to 5.02. He's had a really good last couple of outings. We'll see what he does tomorrow. Astros are predicted at a less percentage chance of winning than they were today. Today they were predicted at 73% and they got destroyed. So if they're predicted at 60%, that means the game will be even or they'll lose by a little. Is that what that means? I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks, Mr. Page. You're welcome. Win or lose, that's you just have to remember that's how baseball goes. The game tomorrow, as you'll see, is at 8 o'clock, 8:10 a.m. Japan time. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. The Tigers are pulling away 7-0 against the Twins in the 7th inning. The Yankees are beating the Cardinals 4-2 in the 7th inning. Angels and the A's tied up in the 2nd. The battle of the cattle right there. Padres beating up on the Dodgers by a whopping score of 1-0 in the 2nd. Let's see here. The Curbs were beaten by the Pirates. That's nice. Wow, look at that. Big game. The Brewers and the Reds battling it out over there. 10-8, the Brewers won. 77 wins, man. They are going crazy. I've had some podcasts come up, some Astros podcasts, where they say that they just don't believe that this Brewers team is really that good. But I have to ask the question, how long does a team remain hot if they're not really that good? You know what I'm saying? If they're not really that good, then at what point do they begin to fall apart? They're almost at 80 wins already. That's nuts. And the Reds have been hot, and they just beat them. Anyway, let's go down here. The Blue Jays beat the Rangers, which is fine, 6-5. Anything else going on? The Red Sox barely beat the Marlins 2-1. The Mets let us down by beating the Mariners today, or losing to the Mariners rather, 9-11. The Astros let us down by letting the Orioles run away, Who got caged today? It wasn't the Birds. It was the Astros. Opposite world. Total opposite world today. That's it. That's all we got. Thanks again to my super chatters. Steel Viper, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Sarcastic Prodigy, thank you so much. And J. Paul, all three of you guys for giving me the super chats. Much appreciated. Next, I think it's Friday, the 21st. No, that's Thursday for me. Next Thursday, I have to go to the hospital again. It's my 3-month appointment. Gonna have my blood drawn, have some tests done, and the doctor is gonna tell me what kind of a condition I'm in, or at least he thinks I'm in, and throw some more blood thinners at me, more than likely. Still got swelling issues with my legs, so I appreciate your thoughts and prayers for that. Got a little bit of a... I haven't been able to get rid of this cough, and today it feels very, very moist, the congestion, so I appreciate your thoughts and prayers for that. Yes, Gregory, it is a sad game. I'm sorry that you missed the broadcast, but at the same time, it's probably best for you. Yep, let's keep our heads for tomorrow is another day. You are correct, sir. Thank you all very much. Much love to you all. There's nothing else to say here about this game. I just want to go in there and cook a lot of eggs and some sausage and some bacon and some cheese. I won't cook the cheese, but I'll eat it. And drown my sorrows in some good taste in food. Look forward to tomorrow. I think tomorrow I will not... I had one shirt hanging outside drying, so tomorrow I will definitely wear my Astros orange. Maybe that will bring them some good luck. But we'll see. Thank you, Still Viper. Prayers and good health to you too. All of you guys and gals, much love. Mwah, from Hiroshima, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, go Astros. Thank you again for being here. And I will see you all for Game 2. Go Astros. Bye-bye.